Since the Yankee come to Trinidad, they got all the young girls going mad. Young girls say they treat them nice, make Trinidad like paradise. Drink rum like Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, looking for the Yankee dollar.
Pieguy, it is week 8 here on the Rants, Rouges. Oh my goodness, I'm fucking up already. Rants, Rouges, RRR, Jason, RRR.
Too much rum already.
You know, I've had too much rum. Exactly. Cheers. Hey guys, these guys are a truck. These guys are a truck.
Right now, they're going to
killing it.
At home, they're a truck. They're like 33-17 or something.
They are destroying the AL. Whoop those Yankee butts this evening. But let's talk about our favorite league on this show, the Great Canadian Football League. Another decent week for us last week. Thank you, Calgary, once again. Thank you, Hamilton, once again. Our two faves going in, helping us out, making sure our record stays positive. We're 5-2 on the best bet, up 4 units there, and we're 22-19 on the show record, up 3 units there, thanks to that sprinkle and the best bet and the Calgary points last week. What an interesting week 7 was. I was doing some little stats because a post I'm thinking of doing in the next coming weeks is looking and comparing one of the CFL's top weeks of this season versus some of the NFL weeks from previous season. I was taking a look at some numbers, comparing things like how many touchdowns were in a game, what was the average touchdowns, compare across the two leagues, number of points, number of field goals, things like that, lead changes, just to see how comparable the CFL would have been. I did look at last week as a decent week in the CFL, one that had a lot of points scored, different storylines. There was the games themselves were actually quite interesting and compelling to watch. We had the Argos Montreal game. What an ending to that one. A bit biased. I was there. I got to watch that live. And I got to watch all that action right in front of my eyes because I was on that side of the end zone. The dropped fumble right in the end zone, and then quickly recovered back by Montreal, and then still enough time for the Argos to go and kick it to win it, and they fumble the bag there. What a great game that one was. And then the rest of the week also followed up with some great storylines. Obviously, Calgary continues to dominate, continues to show really great performance again in a hostile ground, right? They destroyed the Rough Riders in Mosaic, and now they destroy the Bombers not once, twice this season. And this time at Princess Auto, to really cement themselves as probably the best team in the CFL this season. I think it's quite a bit of a turnaround there.
Consensus number 1 across the power rankings. I don't think I've seen anybody with
they're by far the best. They're by whatever they did to tweak what they needed. It's so, and maybe we'll talk about them right now a little bit, and then we'll expand on them during the game analysis. But it's essentially all these players really playing up for this team, and a lot of stuff that I'm reading online is it's not necessarily complete kudos to like Dave Dickinson's style of play or anything like that. It's actually to the players executing visions and executing work and just not making mistakes, as we've seen with all these other teams. They've just been very clutch and very proper, and they're all working together as a unit very, very well. I do still believe heavily that they are, a major injury to Vernon Adams away, or another big injury somewhere on that defensive line.
But I mean,
struggling.
Most teams are one quarterback injury away from being, pretty bad.
Well, talk about quarterback injuries. We've had so many this season. This season has been, that's the storyline. It's been backups versus backups, almost showcasing. It's kind of funny because we talked about it at the very first episode, where we thought this year was the first year where it seemed like every team had a suitable 1 and 1B, like a second guy who can step up.
Except Calgary.
Except Calgary. But it hasn't been the case. BC hasn't had the step up where they needed. The Arbuckle is doing his best. But that's been injury ridden. Ottawa without Brown.
Well, I don't know about that. Their one win did come with Crum, but it was rain assisted.
Yeah, it was rain assisted.
And Crum looked pretty good.
In relief,
Sunday, he was okay. Yeah, he was fine.
It wasn't. It wasn't
way better than Masoli.
Yeah. And then Winnipeg. Who knows? Strevler stepped in, but he didn't really do much to do anything against Calgary's defense, to be fair. But it is what it is. And then we had maybe the most viral moment of the week happen in the Ottawa Hamilton game to wrap up the week, and that was the hit where Amos pretty much took out Drew Brown. To me, it's a football play. Maybe technique could be a bit polished, but overall, I think it was a fair move, fair game. Hit Drew in a bad place, but I don't think there was any ill intent. What's your thoughts on that hit?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It's dumb too because I'm watching the game and it's a big sack. The drive's over. It looked at full speed from the camera side angle. It looked like he just hit him in the chest. But when you go to the referee side, you can clearly see. And then when they slow it down, and like boom, like Drew Brown, it looked like he got concussed. He got knocked right in the chin. And it should have been 25-yard spearing. He had his head down. I thought he was going to get tossed. I was fine either way. Like, you could tell it wasn't intentional, just the way he hit him and the way he was celebrating afterwards. Like you could tell he thought he had made a big play to help his team instead of giving 25 yards to Ottawa, and they ended up going down and scoring a field goal to cut the lead close. But there's some CFL podcasters out there who are saying, "Oh my!" I know Bob Dice. Bob Dice has to see what he has to say, but some guys out there who are saying it's so easy for defenders to not make these penalties on these tackles. A certain Rider fan who may or may not sell ice cream decided that that it's just so easy for players to hit quarterbacks without lowering their helmet and without hitting them only in the chest, not the head, not below the knee, and not landing with their full body weight on them. He thinks that all this stuff is so easy when the game is going that fast. Like, clearly that was a fast play. He hit him. He clearly didn't mean to hit him in the head. You know what I mean? Drew Brown kind of tucks his chin, and he didn't have his chin strap on. But, it's no excuse. It's a penalty. But, this idea that it's so easy to go play the defense, why don't you get your ass off of your podcast and go play and hit quarterbacks at this level? You know what I mean? People who think this is so easy. There's been so many defenders who have come out and said, they protect the quarterback so much, we're hurting ourselves because we have to tackle different ways. But they adapt and they play, and that's what they do. You have to adapt to the rules. But this nonsense that it's easy and you're just going to blame the defenders all the time is ridiculous. It's nonsense. Amos, it was a football play. It was a penalty, but this is not malicious or anything. It happens. It was a quick play. He didn't go headhunting. You see in hockey where the guy, elbows the guy in the head like that. That's headhunting. This was just, it was a fast play. It happens. You only have so much time, especially when you're going to tackle a quarterback. You don't want to be the idiot who I'm going to go wrap him up and then he escapes and then, down the field and you look like a moron. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm going to knock him on his ass, and it happened. But yeah, it's not easy to play defense. They make it harder and harder every year. And these people who are crying because you have to watch backup quarterbacks will protect the quarterback. Ottawa's offensive line stinks. Okay?
Yeah.
And you have free rusher to the quarterback. Yeah, exactly. There's other ways to do it than always blame the defender. And I'm sick of these guys who are like, oh, it's so easy to play defense because it's so hard. They make it harder every year because they want offense. Look at the totals this week. We have totals way up through the roof. We started the season 48, 51s. Now we're at 55s, 52s. I think the lowest total on the board this week is 52. So, it's working. So, stop. I'm sick of this nonsense that it's easy to play defense. It's not. It's very, very hard. And sometimes when you have a chance to make a sack, you get too excited. He got a little too excited, and he lowered his helmet a little bit and it caught Drew Brown. It's not, I get it. There's been a lot of backup quarterback play in the CFL, and a lot of it's been, not too great, but it's football. Things happen. Your star players get hurt. You know what I mean? It's same thing happens in hockey. Same thing happens in basketball. Same thing happens in baseball. You know what I mean?
Every sport. I get it. I get NFL, the whole narrative. I get the whole narrative of protecting the quarterback in a 9-team league, because they are crucial. They are a bit more in the spotlight than in other leagues, and they do make a good quarterback does make a CFL team much more desirable and motivated to watch and play.
And I will sit here and call people bums or whatever because they're playing bad, but I never say it's easy. It's not easy to play football. The only guy who, like outside of, it's all, it's bum relative to the other players on the field. You know what I mean? He's not playing as good as the other guys on the field, right? The only guy who I really truly believe is a bum is Aaron Dell, and everybody else I have great respect for. But anyways, that's another story. Fuck Aaron Dell.
He is definitely a bum.
He's a cheap shot at a guy who's 30 times better than him on the Ottawa side. Fuck him. Anyways.
No, 100% agree. And like, see, if you actually see a lot of the quarterback injuries, like let's take Davis Alexander. Here's another guy who clearly shouldn't have been doing that run, but he does it anyways. He wins the game for his team, but he's out 6 weeks now, right? But in that moment, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to tell your quarterback, the guy who's designed to win you the game? Hey, you just fucked up your hammy. Don't go out there and run.
Yeah, it's. Like, I mean, Davis. Why don't we get into the Montreal game here?
Let's jump in.
Okay, I'll talk about this. So, this is kind of my notes. So they were being schooled. The Argos were absolutely dominating for 3 quarters, and Davis Alexander had to pull his hamstring and just to pull Montreal out of the gutter and win that game. And now he's out probably at least 3 weeks. I know he's on the 6th game, but I think
they put him 6.
Yeah, but you can come off now. There's like, we'll say let's say he's out 3 weeks. But this is a non-conference game. That game was more important. That was an East game. I get it, but should he have been playing? Now, if he's not playing, the Argos probably whoop him. Like it probably ends like whatever what was the score 25-8 probably ends close to that. Maybe 28-14 or something like that. But and he's not the only one. Philpott is out. James Letcher Jr. is out. And our old good pal, McLeod Bethel Thompson is starting. We get another chance to save McLeod Bethel Thompson. Oh, this is and look who he's playing. The Calgary Stampeders, the team that's made us money 3 weeks in a row. You don't think I'm gonna bet this? Come on. I know. Finally the market's adjusted. Finally they're big favorites like they should have been, at least should have been, close to pick them last week. Like,
they're actually 6-5
now. I bet 5.5 on the Stamps earlier in the week. We'll still play 1 unit 6.5. If you can get 6.5, I like it. If you get 7, I'd still play half a unit or something on. I think like this looks like an absolute I know the Stamps. Yes, you just beat Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg. Is this a letdown? I don't know. The way Dave Dickens is talking, he says they still need to make it proved. But even if this is a letdown, you know what I mean? Like say Calgary comes out and plays their C game, they still might whoop Montreal here. Like they used to, the Alfred guy looks uncoverable right now. The new Moose. I call Derrick Henry the Moose on the Pieguys Pick'em show. We love us some Derrick Henry. Johnny loves his Derrick Henry props. And it's Derrick Henry. Why wouldn't you? That guy's was a fun guy to play to watch. This guy's he's Derrick Henry. He's a receiver. He's huge. He's fast. He beat the defense twice in Winnipeg, wide open. He almost had an amazing catch in the middle of the game. He just dropped it. He's still a little bit raw. But this Alfred, but he's like their third, fourth option. Like they got tons of receivers. The BTF Moose, yes, of course, the BTF Moose, Damian Alford. And Calgary's one way right now. Like it's bet Calgary or it's pass. Yeah. I'm bet Calgary. McLeod Thompson. And I forgot to write this down, but I did think of this earlier in the week. I will be sprinkling the Calgary defensive touchdown because Logan Webb loves to score these. And we know McLeod Bethel Thompson is he loves to throw up those cookies sometimes, those tasty turnovers. I think he's good to throw a nice little tasty pick six, and we know Webb jumps these screens, and I think we will see screen passes from McLeod.
I agree.
I
agree. I think this time around, because Montreal is now in the position of chasing the Ticats, unlike just keeping them at bay, they are going to rely on Bethel Thompson to actually play the ball a bit more, and they don't have the running game that they were counting on. I mean, they still have Erlington to come in, but Letcher was doing a lot of the catching and the short running as well, the RPOs. So it's going to be an interesting week for them. One where I don't think they were too pleased with their performance last week. I mean, obviously the comeback has a little bit of feels and all that, but the books had this initially opening up with Calgary as heavy dogs and Montreal as
no, wasn't it like heavy dogs? How heavy?
Yeah, it opened at 4-5. It opened at 4-5 for Montreal.
Oh yeah, well that was a bad. Davis is worth 7 points, not 10.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I mean, Calgary's just the markets have also adjusted the Calgary's because this opened 4.5 Calgary and it's moved
this week. Yes, yeah. But I'm talking about the bet ahead week. The bet
ahead. Yeah, the look ahead week. The look ahead.
Yeah, before Calgary whooped Winnipeg's ass. But yeah, this. I mean, listen, it's going to be. I think Montreal takes this game in stride. They have wiggle room in the East. It's not like the Argos and the Red Blacks are catching them. Red Blacks this week are on a bye. The Argos have to take on the Bombers, who are in a bit of a self-discovery themselves. And the Argos don't have the greatest of news after today. But yeah, this game looks like you're right when you say Calgary's the team to just hang on to. There's no reason they should be let down. Not yet.
Yeah. No. At some point, like the spread might get too big, but against the backup, who's McLeod, turnover worthy, and then also, one thing I forgot to mention about last week's game, Montreal didn't run the football at all until like 2 minutes left in the first half. Like what? Jason Moss might be imploding. Yeah. We forget about that because Davis pulled his ass, bailed his ass out at the end of the game. And on the broadcast, like, he's calling read options. Those could be runs. Like, call a run play. Toronto's the worst run defense in the league going into that game, and they didn't run the ball till 2 minutes left in the first half. What kind of nonsense game plan was that?
As soon as they did,
look, they came back a little bit. Yeah,
the game changed.
Yeah,
the momentum was different. Yeah.
Like, come on, you post stats every week. It's not that hard for them to go, look, Toronto's bad at stopping the run. Why don't we run the football? You know what I mean? I'm not an offensive coordinator, but I mean,
they could mess with but I agree. It was a little baffling that they didn't run the ball until you were messaging me during the game. You're like, have these guys actually run the ball? And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, I bet Montreal. And I'm like, why are they not running the football? What is going on? Toronto can't stop the run. Hamilton was running on them last week. Everybody runs on these guys. And you even try. Like, I get it. Okay, when it gets to like 25-7, okay, we're going to throw the ball. Okay, that makes sense. But, it was 0-0 or whatever, 7-0, whatever it was.
They were running.
And then those vaunted Montreal defense got cooked by Dimwitty's scheme. So, I think, Dave Dickinson didn't what he used to be his coordinator there. I think he's going to kind of copy paste the game plan Toronto did. And they're going to, so I think Calgary's going to have their way here. I think it's an awful spot. I mean, it's a comeback win. I know Calgary's not in the best spot. I think it's a short week coming off the big smoking in Winnipeg. But like again, they don't like the Stampede Trophy. It's not for them. They're just keeping going. You know what I mean? They don't get overly. Yeah, a lot of vets. They don't get overly excited. You know what I mean?
And
they're steady. They're steady. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that they get Ottawa next week, Calgary.
Oh yeah, another one.
Maybe Bob Dice isn't around.
Well, I don't know. He hasn't been fired yet, so I think they're going to hold on to him.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah, it's kind of weird because you have to pay out your coaches now. So a lot of teams are hesitant to offload during the season.
Yeah, and they like him. He stood up for his guy at halftime, and they have been playing better. They're on bye, so we can talk about them a little bit. The last 2 games against Hamilton, they've been better. Okay, they're actually, I think, what is it? You posted the stat. I think they're number 1 in red zone chances.
Yes,
but they're the worst conversion rates.
Yeah, they got less than 40 or close to 40% of conversion, which is
but they have more than anybody else.
Yes,
more opportunities.
Always there. They're always there. Yeah.
Well, that adjustments can be made. Montreal has an injured quarterback. Hamilton's not exactly world beaters, and Toronto's tied with you. So maybe the season's not over yet.
Let's talking about seasons being over. Do we think the Edmonton football team here, or whatever we want to call them, are they done?
I'm just plugging in the charger here.
Well, you got to plug in the charger. Well, I'll talk about them. Do I think Edmonton is done? I don't necessarily think they're done. This line suggests maybe it's over. But it's not great news out of the Edmonton camp to start the week. Undecided who's going to have the ball. Both quarterbacks having first team reps. Here we go again. What is up with this franchise? What is going on? What's your take on it?
What's going on? I'm going to lose my win total. That's what's going on. These guys they have no idea what they're doing. Okay. Like the people are they're like, oh my God, why did we fire Jarius Jackson? We can't run the ball anymore. Okay. First of all, I don't like what they're doing because Trey Ford will one bad game and they're going to, maybe we're going to put in Fajardo when we're clearly Burry. Like, okay, you could catch BC, I suppose, and you could be the crossover like that, but you lost 2 to them. So it's, it's not going to get any easier. I haven't played Calgary yet. I thought that was a good thing going into the season. Like, we get Calgary late, but things could happen. Things could change. Calgary's peaking now. Maybe they're going to tail off. Probably, hopefully not this week. But this quarterback battle, this nonsense in the middle of the season I don't think it helps anybody. If you're gonna do this, don't broadcast it. Don't tell Saskatchewan you're gonna do it. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't understand.
You know what I mean? Like there was who was it? The Eagles were playing the Jets a few years ago, and Hurts all week they led you to believe that Hurts was going to play. He was a little banged up, and then Sunday the Eagles are the Eagles go in the game and they start Minshew, and Minshew cooks them. And after the game, they're just like, we were preparing for Hurts all week. Okay, bad franchises will give you free wins because you're preparing for the guy who's going to run a little bit more. He's going to short, and you get Minshew, the guy he throws picks, but he's got an arm. You know what I mean? And they weren't ready because they're the Jets. They've been a bum franchise for a while. Bad franchises will give when you hide things, you lose an edge here. Like something like that could be a big edge. I'm not saying Saskatchewan's a bad franchise. I'm saying maybe they don't prepare for Fajardo if you don't say anything because they think it's going to be Ford and they're worried about Ford, right? And it's not to say that they're bad. Maybe they put a little bit for Fajardo. Like, okay, we got to, just in case they put a package. Maybe they're like 80% focus is Trey Ford, and then you start Fajardo, you have a little bit of an edge. You know what I mean? doing this quarterback stuff, Corey May said right away, well, we're preparing for both quarterbacks. Good organizations do that. Yeah, but this is dumb. This is ridiculous because now, instead of having 83 plays that you've practiced, each quarterback has 40 or something. I was reading this article, and it's just you're handicapping yourself. You know, like it's dumb. Start your guy. Start Trey Ford. What are they? 1-5, 1-4. What is their record?
They're 1-1.
They beat Ottawa. I know that. I don't remember how many lost. They're 1-X.
1-4.
Well, yeah, they have 2 buys. Okay, yeah. So you've lost 4. We want to find. The season's not totally done, but I mean, come on, Trey Ford. This was supposed to be the season where you start Trey Ford, you appease the fans. If he stinks at the end of the year, okay, get rid of him. I get it. You want attendance, you want hype, you want to get people back, but the offense isn't the problem. Your defense sucks. It's bad. And guess what? Mechier's out. Look at this total. It's 54.5. I was looking at the Saskatchewan team total. It's 32.5, 31.5. It's like, holy. Now, I don't blame the books. Every game, Edmonton's allowed 30 points. Even the game they won, Ottawa scored 30
points.
Or 33 points, something like that.
Pretty high, yeah.
Yeah. The problem in Edmonton is that the defense sucks and you're not running the ball. It has nothing to do with the quarterback. The quarterback's been fine. Okay, he had one bad game. And they're looking at the wrong things. This is like the Ottawa Bob Dice, where it's like your secondary sucks. It's not. Okay, yes, you have penalty issues. Yes, there's other things, but your secondary sucks. And this week they kind of fixed that a little bit. It was a little bit better the last couple of weeks. So
you're talking about Ottawa.
They cleaned up the penalties. They've cleaned up this. You know what I mean? Yeah, Edmonton isn't looking in the mirror. They're looking at some kind of kaleidoscope because they somehow decided that the quarterback is the problem when everything else is the problem. The quarterback's fine.
They invested so much in the offseason. Stealing, poaching talent from all these teams. How could they be bad? The story was Edmonton was the team to recover or come back from last season. And Calgary just stole their thunder. Rough start.
They're 1-4. They're 1-4. It's not, the season's not over. Okay. Yeah, you lost twice to BC, but you lose twice to BC every year. Okay. You can win this game.
But BC,
I don't think they will. But
BC's run defense is a little doo-doo sometimes, and they were prepared for Edmonton at home. And so it's like I don't know.
Remember, Edmonton was up in that game. It was 7-3.5, right?
Yes, at half.
But the kicker, missed some kicks, and there was a return touchdown that was called back. It was growing pains in that game. But now you no excuse to grow. But they were growing every week, and then they got slapped in the mouth by BC. Why? Because they were probably, they got a win. Now they thought the work was over. Well, the work's not over. You gotta keep at it. I think that's what happened. I mean, okay, yeah, BC has their number. Nathan Rourke cooks these guys. I get it. He's very good, but he hasn't cooked anybody else.
He does cook quite a bit.
Yeah, that's the only thing he's cooking right now. He's cooking elk. He's eating elk for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
You got it. He's on that game diet. So what are you thinking here? I mean, we've talked a lot about the Elks, but let's talk about Saskatchewan. What you like about their recovery game? Obviously they weren't too pleased with their performance against Calgary, but what you think about their game last week against BC? They started pretty strong, but they kind of petered off at the end.
Saskatchewan got a 10-0 lead before Nathan Rourke touched the ball, and Trevor Harris looked like he did week 1 against the Ottawa secondary. Like he butchered these guys. It was wide open receivers. He found everybody. You know what I mean? Like he was getting protection. BC's defense got cooked by Trevor Harris, and the defense did enough. And then late in the game, they went to their usual soft zone nonsense where they allow a ton of runs, ton of yards, but
they didn't score in the last quarter.
It doesn't matter. They're so far up. It was essentially garbage time. I know the CFL you can kind of sometimes come back, but it was pretty much over.
A three score lead, you're pretty good.
Yeah, they were Yeah. But that final score is misleading. Saskatchewan beat the shit out of BC.
Yeah, they
It
did.
was
They did.
close.
They did. The morale was
MLS
done by.
back, I think, was the key here. They have tons of deep receivers. They have still more guys injured. They're gonna like they might cut somebody. And if I'm Edmonton, whoever they cut, I'm snapping up right away because I think Edmonton could use another receiver. Yeah. Toronto too, but I don't know if Toronto's. We'll talk about them in a minute. But yeah, so here's will Saskatchewan win by 10? You know what I mean? It's not. You can get 9 and if you like the I forgot to mention the other. Like if you like the same thing in the other game. If you like Calgary, get a 6.5. If you like Montreal, find a 7.5. Same thing here. If you just 10.5 and 9.5 available. If you like Saskatchewan, find 9.5. If you like the Elks, find a 10.5. 10. Yeah. At least a 10.
Chop around.
Chop around, yeah. I was going to be all over this over, but I'm worried with this 2 QB nonsense. Edmonton has kind of spooked me a little bit. The Saskatchewan team total is really high. You know what I mean? Like I thought Edmonton would put
Ottawa hit 33 here on them. Ottawa hit 33 on them.
Yeah, I know. But what if the offense just doesn't work? Saskatchewan would just call it a day. You know what I mean? Like
what's the first half number? What's the first half?
I didn't look at that. That's not a bad one. Maybe the first half. Edmonton's been good though. I dig to your quarter things. Their first quarter is their best quarter.
Yes, they are pretty. They're pretty solid at starting. It's their second half. But Saskatchewan's weaker on the second half. But that's because they usually have the lead.
The thing is, we saw what happened in the Ottawa game, though, when they pulled this 2 quarterback concept, it disrupted the flow. It didn't work, which is why I don't like what they're doing, which is why I don't really want to. I might just play. I don't know. Do I pass the game? Do I think they play it? I'm not betting Edmonton. So Cowboy Keith was telling me, you better not bet. I'm going to slap you tomorrow if you bet the Elks. I'm not betting the Elks, okay? It's not happening.
I'm going to
tell you did it. Not with the nonsense they're pulling here. You know, they can win this game outright. I'm not saying they can't. Like, it's possible. It's a high variance game, 54.5. But, you know, not for me.
It's
maybe it was
the pick'em's 94% people picking Saskatchewan.
I know, I saw that. It's ridiculous. This is the kind of game that the Elks are gonna, maybe they'll pull one out of the hat. I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked. So I think what we're gonna do here, okay, we'll split it up. Okay, I'll play half a unit on over. I think you get 54. If you can find it 54, I think this 54 is available. So over 54. Half a unit, and then the other half a unit will go over 32.5 on the Saskatchewan team total. It's very high. You know what? Scratch the team total. Okay, we'll go half a unit over 54, and we'll go half a unit Saskatchewan minus the 9.5. I'd rather do that. That way, if it's a low-scoring game, I don't lose both. Yeah. Because if Edmonton wins, it's going to be like, we're going to see like 70 points, right? So I think we're going to get one of these two because I feel like and we could get both. We can get both, no problem. Edmonton, Saskatchewan gives up garbage time scores. Edmonton's lost by 10 every game. So, yeah, I'm going to lay it. I don't like it too much, but like I think like 41-31 Saskatchewan or 40-24 Saskatchewan. But like if it's if Edmonton just doesn't show up and it's like 24-0, I don't want to lose both bets.
The only caveat here, Mike, that I'll share is that Edmonton starts their East journey for 3 weeks after this one. So they don't face a West opposition until they get Calgary in the back-to-back Labor Day stuff.
Yeah, but I hate this
if there's a game to win,
it's quarterback nonsense. No. This 2 quarter, I'm fading. I'm taking the 9.5. I'm taking the over. Half unit piece. I think Saskatchewan puts up 40 points on these bums if they want to. The thing, if they don't want to, they're going to cover the 10. That's the thing. Like if they're so far ahead that they pull the gas off, you know what I mean? They win like 30-15, right? But if they win, if they go and score 40, Edmonton can give me 15 points and 40-15 or whatever, 35-20. Yeah. I think it goes over, so I'm going to bet it. And then I like this 2 quarterback stuff is ridiculous. That's why they're going to lose. And when Edmonton loses, they tend to lose in spectacular fashion. So.
They do. They elk it away for sure.
And again, we've only had 2 teams win and not cover so far. One was Montreal last week, and the other one was Hamilton. Both of them I've had the spread. So,
all right. Well, that's enough.
But the lines are tightening. We're seeing the big spreads now. They're making us pay more.
They are. Here's another one. And again, on the show, I got to make another edit because it's gone up another point. We're now at 5-5 in the Winnipeg-Toronto game.
Yeah, those a certain book kept logging me out when I was trying to get the 4.5, and I'm quite upset. But
oh my goodness. Well, obviously we had this morning the news that Argo fans were probably not hoping to hear, but yes, Mr. Chad Kelly might be out. Oh, he is definitely out this week. Might be out again next week. It doesn't seem like the franchise wants to rush him. They're doing a couple of things. They were
why would you?
being very optimistic at the start of the season, which maybe to get a lot of opposition, thinking, oh, do we prep? Do we prep for the return of? But here we go. It's the Argos versus the Bombers. Typically, the Bombers have hated playing at BMO Field. It doesn't matter how good the Argos have been or how bad the Argos have been. Anytime Winnipeg comes to that field, they just seem to struggle to be able to do what they typically do. Last week, we did get to see a spectacular hit on Collaros that many speculated this guy was going to be out long term, maybe even career wise. Hey, this guy's starting. This guy's starting on Saturday. He's full practice. He's taking the full reps. This is the kind of guy who's just like, fuck it, I'm a vet. I'm playing. Whatever. Next little sore, I'm still good to go. But the biggest thing here for Winnipeg is what we saw last week is this team without Stanley Bryant and how interesting that team is without him being that protector for Collaros or the QB. And he hasn't practiced this week yet. He might be out again. Whereas the Argos, again, they're dealing with a couple of big guys out. Obviously Hunter remains injured. They lost Danquah for the rest of the season, so another offensive lineman gone. They've signed 3 other guys, so it's a lot of new faces again around the block. But
Shane Richards, they signed Shane Richards. He's back.
They brought him back. They brought back
Canadian O-lineman Shane Richards. Hey, oh boy, desperation is
former first-round pick. Okay,
maybe he'll be good. Who knows? The other guys haven't been very good. So
yeah, no,
they're throwing stuff at the wall.
They picked up a pretty big boy last 2 weeks ago. Kelly, I think his name was, and he looked awful against Montreal. I can't tell you, very slow. But a lot of people were discussing, and I was talking to a couple of Argo fans after the game last Friday, and I'm trying to figure, like, is it talent wise that they lost this? Was it Arbuckle's fault that they lost that game? That they couldn't get couldn't give him enough time at the end? Honestly, I think it's a lot to do with mental. Just a lot of guys who just aren't used to these scenarios as maybe they have been in the past, and it just. You got to make that one extra block. Maybe you should have shifted all left instead of right. And you just made that call during that play and you just left them open, and that was it. That was enough to put enough pressure that your quarterback couldn't get to the 3rd read or the 4th read. And it was, to get you that extra 10 yards. So you kick it to win it and you couldn't do it. But they looked a lot better with McManus back there. Like leading and talking and telling people what.
Did he practice? I don't think he practiced.
He did. Today he did a limited practice.
Oh, limited. Yeah, okay.
They're expecting him to play.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, and you know what? It's the small things that you get when you're in attendance that you don't get elsewhere. Is when those players come up to the fans, and then share their opinions and such. And even after the defeat those Argo players came up to the group that was there, and they kind of knew whose bad it was, and they were kind of owning that it was my bad. I did that. That wasn't on Arbuckle. That wasn't on the other guys. And they're gonna play for each other. And they did it for the most part of the Montreal game. They were always covering each other. This is another game where I think, again, being a bit biased as an Argo fan, where I'd like to see Toronto in that position. The spread here is, I think, a little unfair. I think it's just reacting a lot to the Kelly news and treating Arbuckle as a second-rate QB. I don't think he's actually had a terrible season.
Well, it's a reaction to Caleros being back. It was 2.5, 3 earlier in the week. Yeah.
Well, we discussed that. We thought Strevler might be an actual better upgrade.
I know, but the market is gonna that's like a hot take. Like the market's gonna respect Caleros. He's the vet.
So what's your feeling on this Winnipeg team?
I wanted Strevler. I would have bet Winnipeg. I was 2.5. So maybe it gets lower. Like I was waiting for Caleros. I thought he wasn't playing. Like he got nailed. I thought he was for sure out for at least one game. I was we're gonna get Strevler for a game here. Yeah, I knew I was betting Winnipeg. I don't know. I haven't bet it yet. Number keeps moving on. Maybe I shouldn't stay off, but I just after that game now. The Argos, I know you said they did one extra play here. They played their A+ game in that game. Montreal was a 10-point favorite. They're better than them, and eventually they woke up and they had better players, better talent, and the guys he hurt his hamstring. It took everything to win that game, but they got it. But they were cooked. That was their A+ effort. That was the best I've seen them. They were all, the defense is all over the field. The offense was cooking. That vaunted Montreal defense didn't look too vaunted to me. The Argos were. I'm like, this game's over. Dinwiddie's in his cookbook, and the Montreal defense doesn't have any answers. But the offense had some answers, and then late in the game, Arbuckle, they pressure. You know what I mean? They made a few adjustments. They got pressure forced turnovers, and that was it. Montreal was able to make a few adjustments. They had better players, like we can do. But here and then you had and Dinwiddie knew it. Like he was in tears after the game, and that's when I knew I'm like, they're gonna get slaughtered next week because you got your A+ effort. And you came up short, and then basically to save your season. That game was, if they had won that game, they're 2-4. Montreal's 3-3, and your season's alive. He carries some momentum. Caleros takes a hit. Maybe he's not 100%. Stanley Bryant's out. We talked about that. That's why I bet Calgary. That was no big. I said, I said that's a problem because Calgary's D line's coming out. Toronto's D line's not bad. It's like Calgary's D line. But they could slow down the Bombers here. I'm a little bit concerned about that. That's why I would have preferred Strevler. I would have preferred like a slow grind. And then I'm only laying 2.5, 3 instead of 5.5, 6. Or if I think you get 5. I think it's still 5 up there. But
there are some 5.
And O'Shea was calling this guy. See, some plays are just goofy. Like weird shit happened and you get beat. But other places that they were poor, not really. Like it's Winnipeg, they don't give you much. I'm in a 5 straight Grey Cups. I like I said, I would preferred Strevler with a smaller spread. But yeah, this sets up for this is that's a heartbreaking loss. Your coach is in tears. Your quarterback's not coming back. They played and they gave their A+ effort last week, so I don't think we're gonna see it again. You
don't think they'll back-to-back it? It will be tough.
It's hard, man. It's hard to see your A. You have your A game. I mean, if they have their A game, they'll probably cover. They look very, especially with Stanley Bryant out. Yeah. But it's just that was a backbreaker. It's tough, man. And this is what I went to look this up. So I remember a few years ago, Dan Campbell was in. The Lions hadn't won a game. Well, Toronto has one win, but hadn't won a game. They were fighting tooth and nail. they lost a heartbreaker to the Vikings, a divisional foe, just like Montreal, your divisional foe, right? And he was crying after the game. Like, you could tell, they gave everything. And I looked up the next week, they played a non-conference opponent, the Cincinnati Bengals, and they got walloped. A team that was better than them, a team that ended up going to the Super Bowl. This is another, possible same scenario. A team that's better than them, a team that's, middling right now, but could end up in the Grey Cup. So, in my opinion, it's the same scenario. It's the same scenario. You got to it's a little different because it's the CFL. But there's less teams, but it's a non-conference game. I know the difference is it is the Grey Cup rematch, but Toronto won that game.
They did.
Winnipeg, Winnipeg's got
Winnipeg
the one
has
that's
more
got to
motive
get the revenge. It's Arbuckle, and now hopefully Jefferson's been a little. He's been a little more, iffy with the suspects hits than my friend on the Ticats, but. So I hope he doesn't get carried away and give the Argos free yards because it is the Grey Cup rematch. But Winnipeg.
I mean, if I'm a Bombers,
they smell blood. Yeah. But they've lost 2 in a row. Like this is the spot. We gotta get back on track, guys. These guys are very good. You get Toronto. They're not gonna say that, but sorry,
you get them back. You get Toronto back to back, and you might not get Kelly at all. You might, if you win in BMO, then you're next week. You're winning Princess Auto is probably
you can't lose this game. Calgary's got that tiebreaker on you. You're essentially 2 games behind them, right? You can't lose to the Argos without Chad Kelly, without 3-4 offensive linemen.
You also don't want to face Saskatchewan in Saskatchewan.
Exactly. That's even worse, in my opinion, than going to Calgary. So
you got to catch up to both these guys, so you have at least one home game come playoff time if you're Winnipeg.
Yeah,
that's your advantage. You have the main one. You already have the main one locked up, so you just got to get there. You need one of the 2.
Yeah. The worry is Dinwiddie cooks again because he cooked them up in the Grey Cup. That is the worry. That's the one way. If Dinwiddie cooks, they have
had Zach cut his hand that game in the Grey Cup. So a lot of things.
Yeah,
but,
and Toronto's home field is almost negligible. In terms of advantage. Did their one win come at home? Or who did they beat? I can't remember who they beat.
They beat Ottawa, man. Everyone beat Ottawa.
They beat Ottawa, except for the Stamps. They're the best team in the league. Winnipeg here. It's a spot play. Yeah, I don't like the number, but I mean, the scenario sets up, and I don't like Brian being out, but I'm going to play one unit. I wanted Strevler, and I wanted Brian back, and I wanted Kalaros out instead. Not that I want him hurt, but give him a week to rest, recover, and then he can play the Argos next week at home. Especially with Bryant, I don't know why. Strevler's a big guy. He's durable. He takes.
He could take a hit more.
Yeah, you have Wilson back. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big
younger,
Wilson guy, but
yeah.
I would have given Zach. But the fact he's playing tells me their thing. The one thing I forgot to mention, Edmonton, Jake Serezna. I thought he wasn't going to play, but he is going to play, which is a little concerned.
This guy busted.
I was what is going on? Guys are coming back from. I hope nobody gets seriously hurt. Those injuries look like they were at least
modern medicine.
Maybe.
No one takes breaks anymore in the CFL. Okay, you need a win. You need a win. You got to remember, it's not that you're. Sometimes there's chasing home advantage, and then there's just chasing the last team to make the playoffs. And we got a good buddy of ours who shits on the league being in 9 teams only, and goes, 6 out of the 9 make it. Yeah, but you know what? It's hella entertaining when 7, 8, and 9 still have a chance to continuously chase 6 the whole season.
I mean, all the leagues are going. The NBA's got the play-in. I mean, the NHL. I'm half making the NHL, but that's a different ballgame because
once NHL expands, they'll do it for sure too.
But and also it's very rare though. You're not going to see. I mean, it hasn't happened in a long time where 2 wildcard teams make it through. You know what I mean? 2 of the bottom, right? Yeah. 1, I've seen that, but even then, I feel when's the last time the wildcard
Oh,
went pretty
exactly.
far. It's been a
Yeah,
long time.
your
It's
best
tough to
teams
win on the
usually
road.
keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
So
it's extra playoff games.
yeah. So I just making sure we got Winnipeg. You're taking the spread, right?
Yeah, Winnipeg 5.5. That's it. I don't want total because this last time here was 13-12, one of the worst games of all time.
Oh yeah, it was won by the walk-off Rouge. Everyone hated that game. Everyone was on socials after.
No, that
Fuck
was
Rouge,
Riders
fuck
Argos.
Rouge.
This was the
No, it wasn't
13-12. This
Riders
was
Argos,
the
was it? Oh, this was
Riders Argos was the walk off Rouge. I had Toronto minus 2.5. Was very upset.
Yeah,
The last one was it was like 13-12. The only touchdown was I think Grant, and then it was all field goals.
yeah, it was something like
That was
that.
the difference.
You're right.
You were there. I was gonna go to the game, but then I decided not to, and then I'm like, oh, I made the right decision. 25 points.
You did call it. You talked about road teams and being difficult to win on the road. We have Hamilton coming in many people's power rankings as the third or fourth best team in the CFL. Some people say second best, based on their current form, but they're dogs right now in BC. Is this line adjusting to Nathan Rourke's stats, or is it adjusting to the Lions' home field?
So the market hasn't. So the market hasn't respected Hamilton yet. So remember, I said the Argos played their A game last week. That was their A plus game, and they couldn't do it, and that's one of the reasons I'm taking Winnipeg. Hamilton has played their C game like the last few weeks. Like they haven't put a full A effort where both sides of the football, like in their 4-game win streak. The Montreal and the 2 Ottawa wins was the defense that carried, and then in the Toronto win, it was the offense that carried. And the defense, had trouble against the Argos offense. Last week was probably the most complete game because you saw the defense hold, and then you saw the offense take over at the end. And honestly, if it wasn't for the 25-yard penalty, Ottawa probably gets whooped even harder. The Deshaun Amos hit. So 4 straight wins. They've been in Ontario since week 1. They haven't left the province. The Ticats. They had a home game against Saskatchewan, home game against Montreal. They went to Ottawa. They went to Toronto. They went back home, played Ottawa. They went to Ottawa last week. They haven't left the province since week 1. So the people saying, anyone who says, oh, it's a bad travel, so they've been home for 5 weeks.
They've been able to.
So I'm not worried about that. That they haven't lost, or sorry, they've won the last 2 times they've gone to BC. This is one of the West places the Tigers play well. They have no business being underdogs here. BC's beaten Montreal on a game Montreal blew it. Jason Moss started losing his mind. And it looks like he may have lost it further now.
Downfall of Montreal.
And then they beat the Elks twice. Like they beat nobody.
It was
zero
Rourke beat the Elks.
Impressive wins. Rourke beat the Elks. The defense has been good here and there, spotty, but they got cooked. They look like the Red Blacks week 1 defense last week.
They were bad,
which is not good. And we saw what happened to the Red Blacks. And the Red Blacks have been better the last few weeks, so I'll give them that. But the game got away early. Like we talked about, the 10-0, Rourke hadn't touched the ball. Rourke's their best player, and it's not close. Betts is good. White is good too, obviously. But BC is the stars and scrubs team. You have your big names, your Betts, your Rourkes, your Whites, but you need the scrubs to step up and play okay. Right? The O-line played well 2 weeks ago against Edmonton, but maybe that was more because Resnick got hurt. Maybe it's more because Edmonton's not very good. I kind of got caught up in how I'm like, oh, the O-line's making improvements. Like Buck Pierce has it going, and then
last week happened, and you're like,
but it was, I don't know if their offense's fault. It was the defensive special teams couldn't do anything against Saskatchewan. But there's no business being 3-point favorites against Hamilton. The Hamilton +3 here. They've been winning for us. They didn't cover 2 weeks ago, but they don't need to win the game. They don't need to win the game here. Hamilton has only lost by more than 3 once in the last 6 trips to BC. Then they lost by 5. BC struggled to beat the Ticats. Every game's been close. You're getting 3 with the team who has the better record, with the team who, and I did bet Hamilton to win the Grey Cup last week finally, and I really like it now because I'm looking at it and you see Calgary's very, very good. We know that, but they're like, are they peaking right now? Hamilton clearly has a peak. Yeah, Hamilton's just they're playing good. You know what I mean? They're playing good. You could tell there's talent. You can tell, but they haven't put it together yet. It's a long season, and this is the kind of team in their first place. And this is the kind of team that you can as it goes along, they can win beat the Ottawas, the BCs. You don't need to exert everything right now. Your division. When you play Montreal the second time, you want to win that game. That's when you want to start ramping up. We're figuring ourselves out. We're getting our W's. We're not too worried. This is another team. Yes, Nathan Rourke's very good. Yes, Sean White's very good. But the BC can't be laying. I get they're at home. And I know they've played well here. They can't be laying. And here's another thing. This total is 55.5. This is higher than the Elks total. We're back. The unders were here 2 weeks ago. These totals are getting higher and higher. And I bet the under. I bet the under here. The Ticats defense has been good. The BC defense got cooked a little bit. But, we've seen Saskatchewan do this. Remember, they cooked the Red Blacks defense. They cooked the Argos defense. And it's not, I know the Hamilton then cooked the Argos defense later on. But I think this could be a tight game. I'm not sold that we're going to see fireworks here. The Ticats blind over. The Ticats have had 2 unders in a row against Ottawa. BC had an over last week, but the game before against Montreal was 21-20. It wasn't even close. Yeah. I'm sorry. The Edmonton game. The Edmonton game was 32-14. That also was an under. No, we're under this game.
BC doesn't score. So. BC doesn't score as much.
Yeah, it's long drives.
Saskatchewan let them get points.
Yeah, exactly. Late game. Hamilton doesn't do that unless things better not hit Nathan Rourke because we like watching Nathan Rourke.
Are you saying if he goes back to back, that's it? Then people might start questioning it a bit more.
Oh, well, I mean, okay, the hit was dirty. I mean, not dirty, but the hit was, it was bad. It was penalty. He could have been talked out. He could have been tossed. I would have been fine with him being tossed. This idea that he's suspended and all this nonsense is going to be punished. That's a football play. Come on, give me a break. Toss him out. That's it. That would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. But yeah, we're not going to, so, as long as Hamilton's taking a lot of penalties last week. That's a little bit concerning. So as long as Hamilton can keep the penalties down, not get over. Now they're going on the road. Hopefully they can focus more. They've been in Ontario, like I said. So
but your penalties have most of your penalties have been preventable. And
I think BC is going to hold. I think this offensive line is going to hold. It's going to stall drives because Hamilton's defense, it might, Calgary's defense is number 1. Hamilton's looking like they're number 2 right now. It might be right now. They're looking like they're number 2
with the rookie and a couple of the.
Now I know the rookie got a little banged up last. Very tricky. They have 2 rookies. They have Hauser and Vorch. The guy with the V.
Yeah, Verasuk.
Verasuk. That's his name. And then Amos, Stubblefield's there now. Yeah, Peters is very good. Let's start at Moxie. He had made a good special teams play.
It's a good team.
I like Hamilton. I don't know why that. This feels like Calgary like a few weeks ago. It's like, you're getting them as a dog. What's going on? You got then against Ottawa, pick them. You get them here as +3. Like they don't need to win the game. Like, and I could see BC, that's the best part about this. But BC does what they did against Montreal. They pull a rabbit out of the hat at the end, win by 1 or 2. You win the bet, and you probably get the under because that means it's probably a low scoring game. So yeah, I like the under. I like Hamilton +3 is the 1 unit each.
I like it too. Is this Hamilton's first bye? No, they already had a bye, right?
Oh, they have a bye after this game?
I believe they do.
No, I think don't they?
No, they got BC this week, and next week they got Edmonton.
Okay.
No,
So it's a pseudo bye.
Oh, yeah, you go BC, Edmonton, BC again.
Yeah, see, Hamilton's got this nice easy stretch where they can like ramp up. You know what I mean? Like they don't have to play 100%. You know what I mean? That first Ottawa game, they weren't very good at all. Like, that was a D game. Last game, they looked better as the game went along. It was maybe a B, a C game. If they play their A game here, BC's getting smoked. Like, I'm sorry, this Hamilton team's way better in the trenches, and they're, Bo it works better than Bo, but Legio's just as good as White right now, and Betts, you got Betts on one side, but the other side you get like 3-4 guys. They're coming.
Yeah, it's not enough, I don't think. Betts has been a fraction of what he looks.
The one concern is Murray, the offensive lineman, he got hurt in the last game. Yeah, he's not going to play, but they have depth at offensive line. As long as it's just the one, should be fine. And Greg Bell's out. Running backs, they ran the football fine. Running backs don't matter.
You'll be okay.
Not when you have
you think there's a bit of a Butler revenge game here?
Oh, maybe. If you want to bet his props, go ahead. Especially if, that leans more to the under. Like if we get Butler going off, exactly. Under for sure. So I know the unders haven't been great this year, but I saw this one. I said, I got this.
It's a little high for CFL.
It is a little high, but the thing with the Hamilton BC games is they've been either really, really high or really, really low scoring. So maybe you could bump this down to like 40, maybe like 51.5 and get a little plus money. I don't hate that either because even lower, there's a tail where this is like a really slow,
like a 30,
game. I'm going to take the
game,
55 because we could have a barn burner. 28-27. Either way, you cash both bets. Either way, because you get +3. So
yeah, they did have a lot of rest too. It's Sunday to Sunday for Hamilton, so they've
Sunday to Sunday. And BC played Saturday.
But
BC's doing all the weekend games, man. They love featuring this team, eh?
They really do. Giving them the Sunday nights. Yeah, I think it's because there's a couple of things. Obviously, one, the CFL knows Winnipeggers will come out on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
So they'll sell out regardless. So they give Winnipeg a lot of the Thursdays. The Stamps, they were kind of like a throwaway, and so they kind of just weren't expecting a lot of interest in the Stamps.
So people were on vacation.
Yeah. But they typically like to leave the Saskatchewan market to the Fridays and the Saturdays. Don't like to give them the Sundays because then you got to travel back to Saskatoon.
Yes.
So they typically like to give either BC, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, like those that are more localized, those Sunday nights. Edmonton gets a lot of Sundays too.
Yeah, and Hamilton has
Hamilton's a big Sunday football kind of thing. But I prefer the Saturdays. I think the Saturdays give you the most bang for your buck, and we'll be getting a couple of. I think next week we get actually a doubleheader on Saturday, on August 2nd. So the long weekend. So it'll be a little bit of
Weekend. Do we have a Monday game
next weekend? Next week, I don't think we do. Oh, we might on a civic holiday.
Schedule here. What are we week?
No, next week. No, it's Thursday, Friday, and the 2 Saturdays. And the 2.
No Sunday game.
No Sunday next week. No Sunday.
Why? It's a long week.
No Sunday next week, and the week after, no Sunday. Are we done with Sundays? We are done with Sundays, my dude. No, we got Sundays.
Labor Day. They have
Labor Day. But
we're done. We're done with Sundays already.
Done with Sundays, yeah.
After this game, that's awful. Well, until the Grey Cup, obviously. But.
Yeah. But that's a bit of a letdown.
But the NFL doesn't come back for like 4 weeks.
I don't know, man.
I get preseason NFL, really?
Maybe TSN just really, really, really wants those doubleheader Saturdays. Maybe they want Sundays off for their cameramen. I don't know.
I don't know. They should take advantage. Get the Sunday games before the NFL starts.
I know it's game. I guess Do you got preseason starting in a couple weeks? I guess you do.
Preseason starts next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hall
On a
of Fame
Sunday?
game is no. The Hall of Fame game is August 31st, I think. So that's Thursday. Yeah, that's Thursday. So I don't know. That Red Blacks game should be Sunday. But whatever.
It is what
I'm
it
not
is.
the schedule maker.
Yeah, it did take them some time. All right, let's recap our week, and then we're gonna choose a best bet. So if we go with the Thursday game, we're back in the horsies once again. Stampeders, Calgary. We're taking the spread on their side, and we're going to sprinkle the defensive TD, Logan Webb. You know, if you're watching.
Or Moncrief, or whoever, man. Or I think
have a good time, you know. And then on
on defense.
Yeah. Hey man, I would not be surprised if they start giving this guy returns too. This guy's
too big though. You want a small guy to return.
He is a little tall, but the
way you want a little dodgy.
You know, he's not even on the top 5 CFL's potential most outstanding Canadian. Alfred, he's not on the 5. He's not 5 favorites right now.
Really? What's his number?
Yeah, I don't know. We should see. Oh, I don't think you can bet best Canadian. Just right now, Kenny Lawler is the favorite for.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay. He should be the MOP favorite. Is he?
Yeah. No, he's not. It's Bo and Vernon, which makes sense. Your top
what's Lawler's number? What's Lawler's
number? Plus 1,900.
Oh, I'm betting that.
He gets it. He gets it if he passes.
Oh, I'm getting it. If he breaks the record, he gets it.
He gets it.
Yeah, 100%. He gets it. Yeah. But like Bo, I get it. But like Lawler's cooking these guys. Like he's got all the highlight reels. This is a media award. You know what I mean? Like he's the one-on-one. He smokes these guys. I know Bo's got to throw the ball. I get it. Yeah. And he's passing the stuff, but I mean, you know, if Lawler keeps doing this, I mean, I don't know how.
I mean,
he's a receiver.
Bo's breaking records too, right? He's now top 10 in passing yards and all that. But
I'm betting the Lawler MOP.
Milt got it when he got 23. So
plus Lawler plays the Elks next week. Oh my god!
If he ties Milt's 4 TD game, that's it. That number is gonna come down. Funny enough, you did bet last week the Ticats Grey Cup future, and then it went up even after the win. It went up.
I bet it again. I put a half unit
plus 1,100, and now today, as of this show, it's at 430. So they finally adjusted.
Yeah, because Davis got hurt.
Yeah, Davis. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. But
I bet it there. I think I bet it Sunday after Montreal won.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I guess the game was pick 'em, but
hey,
it feels like a team that could get there. Especially like remember now that Winnipeg is 3rd in the West, that Grey Cup be neutral. Right, like if you don't play Winnipeg, because that was the thing at the beginning of the season. Like okay, like
who faces
Winnipeg? If Winnipeg wins the West, like they're going to be the favorite by a mile because you not only do you get home for the West final, you get home in the Grey Cup, which is massive. We saw what Hamilton should have won that anyways. I don't want to talk about the knee in the end zone. But the best bet's hard this week because if it was Strevler and if it was 2.5, it would be Winnipeg. I don't know if I want to go back to the well with Hamilton. I'm not sure.
Well, you want to go the third week back to back?
No, I think it's just Calgary. I mean, it's McLeod. McLeod beats me. I'll shake his hand. I think it's just Calgary minus 6.5.
Then you'll complain next week.
Yeah, I'll complain. But I mean, come on, we're like the Stamps are they should win this game. The way they're cooking right now, like you can't bet against them. Honestly, I don't know if they're underpriced. Yeah, they're probably underpriced. Like this should probably be 9 with them. With Davis, because with Davis, what's the number with Davis? Stamps minus 2, minus 3?
2.5.
This is 7 points. Davis is 7 points better than McLeod.
Yeah. Well, Davis
7 points better. There's no way Montreal is favored. Yeah. There's no way Montreal is favored. Like, if Montreal was favored, it would be a 2-unit bet on the Stamps with Davis. Like, this is just, I can't deal with this nonsense with anyways. But yeah, Calgary minus 6.5 best, but I haven't used them yet. And they've won 3 straight. I've been using Hamilton. I'm not as confident this week because they're not playing Ottawa anymore. They're not playing Toronto anymore.
They're out of Ontario.
But I mean, yeah, picking on McLeod, the best team in the league, rolling. You know what I mean? Weird stuff happens. It's going to take something weird, in my opinion, for Montreal to keep this one close.
Oh my! You know what? Wait, let me check to see if it's going to torrential downpour in Calgary tomorrow. Because if it's raining in Calgary,
but they don't run the ball. I'm telling you, this Montreal team's imploding. The first sign was that BC game where Moss went ballistic. There was the fight. Last week, they almost got whooped by the Argos. Davis Alexander saved their ass. Now he's gone. This could be bad. This could be Calgary by 30.
Get out of here.
What did they win by 21 points? They beat Winnipeg twice. They give you Montreal by 30. This is the best team in the CFL with a bullet right now.
Oh my God.
At the current moment.
Dave, who would have bet?
Yeah, I know. I'm eating all my crow. But listen, what did I tell you 3 weeks ago? I said it 3 weeks ago. I said I was wrong. I'm going to lose my future, but we're going to bet Calgary until they make us not bet Calgary. So Calgary minus 6.5. Best bet. Let's go.
That's it. Yep.
I got 5.5. I got even better. So.
You got it. You did get it better. All right. Well, you know what? I think that's the perfect way to end it. We're gonna ride, and you know what? I called this episode "Riding Along." Hinting at not the Riders, but the Cowboys. The Cowboys. Oh shit! I shouldn't say that. The Stampeders. The Cowboys.
Don't call them like they're jinxing it. The Cowboys blow these games.
It's not gonna happen. Trust me.
Oh
they play red. They don't play blue.
Yeah, I know.
There's no Jerry Jones up there. There's no.
Yeah, well, how many? What's the crowd? It's gonna be sold out. Maybe. What was it? Friday? What's the game? Oh, it's a Thursday game.
Thursday, Calgary, summertime. Come on.
Yeah, how many people?
27 degrees.
How's their attendance? You're the attendance guy. Has it gone up?
No, it's gone down.
Oh, really? Even though they're playing well.
No.
But they've been on the road 2 weeks in a row.
Average wise, it's lower than last year, but they have been since the start of the season. They've come. They were bad the opening day because expectations were low, but now expectations are a bit higher. It's just how Albertans are. Albertans will back a winning team. So
yeah, I know. I think we might see a loud house Thursday night. I mean, because remember they two games.
Last one game was Stampede Bowl. The Stampede Bowl was pretty much back. So
yeah, well, I expected that. This is a Stampede, but
I think
we'll see a loud house. I mean, they're rolling, and that's the thing. If the crowd gets behind, like we could see Montreal do something dumb. I hope they, that everybody's okay. But I want, I don't want anyone to hurt. But I won't be shocked if Jason Moss is on the sideline. I'm smelling implosion right now in Montreal until Davis comes back.
And Calgary's covered.
I don't trust that cancer. I still don't trust him. If they're 0-2 with them, 0-2 against the spread with him. You know what I mean? I warned them. If they still had Fajardo, imagine if they still had Fajardo.
Oh,
this would be a great game. This would be, oh boy, like the Stamps. This line would probably be like 3.5.
You still might see Fajardo versus the Stamps in a few weeks. Okay.
Oh God.
He's got one more game. Ford's got one more game.
Well, listen, if I don't want the Argos to have good things, but I'm saying, if they're gonna do this, trade them to the Argos. They're trading to somebody who's gonna start them. Like enough of this fucking elk nonsense. I just stop. Like, this was supposed to be the year you stop doing this stupid shit. They're doing it again.
Yeah.
You know, Trey Hamilton. We'll start him after Bo retires. Oh,
That's
fuck,
true.
I mean, enough of these clowns. You know, if Hamilton, if Bo wants to call it quits at the end of the year, if I'm Hamilton, I'm picking up the phone to Edmonton, and we'll pay his contract. You don't want to use him. We'll start him.
Yeah, we'll take him. You got it. All right, Pieguy. As you finish your last drink, as we toast one more time to Toronto, the Blue Jays.
One more time. And I posted it's on my Instagram, my YouTube, the trailer for Pieguy's pick, and we'll return August 8th, 2025 with the schedule will be released soon. We'll have 4 division preview shows, the AFC and NFC East, AFC, NFC North, etc., and the 1 fantasy football special with Jeremy. And I think it's gonna be on a Monday. That one that'll be an extra show. So bonus.
I gotta watch that one because
because you're in my league. You're gonna steal all my picks.
I'm so glad. Listen. I'm so glad we don't run those fantasy footballs where last place has to do punishments because I'd be facing those punishments every year. I am trash at fantasy football when it comes to the NFL. Just can't do it.
I won last year.
So. I don't understand. Yeah, you did.
We'll talk about the strategy, but the reason I won was because I knew Rashad White isn't a very good running back. But Tampa's got a good O-line, and then they drafted this guy named Buck Ure. I'm like, oh, he might be good. I'll draft him late, and you know what happened.
And he came out. Yeah.
All right. And Barkley. Barkley helps too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I mean, quite a bit.
He's the number 1 pick this year, probably.
Listen, I had the 1-1 last year, and I took McCaffrey. And
I know.
Listen,
but Barkley's a safer 1-1 because he's on the Eagles. Yeah,
they'll protect him. Okay, well, Pieguy pick him back on August 8th, right? I got it right. August 8th.
Yeah, August 8th. We'll be back.
All right. So tune in for that, and with that, we'll call it quits here. Typical TK overrun here on the Rants, Rouges cast. 17 minutes over our 1 hour mark. But hey, if you're listening, watching, drop a like. Let us know. If you're tagging along or following, you'll see our picks up on the socials. Let us know. Are you with us, Team Calgary, all the way right now? Let's go.
Ride them stamps.
Ride them. All right. Take care, guys. Peace.
Ciao.